So now we are going to understand about all the developer tools which we have available, and one of the demo, and then followed by lab. So what are the AWS developer tools? And it's for you only. So whatever we do, we discuss, right? Uh, you want to code for you ID you want to write a code and store the code. You want to scan the code. You want to build the code. You want to archive the code. You want to deploy the package to a number of environments, and you want to create a pipelines. So for everything, we have a services on AWS under the developers tool. So these are the some of the popular one: commit, code build, code deploy, code pipelines. But these are the all of these services which you can find on my screen. So Cloud9 is for the is a ID where you can write a code, run your code, debug the code. Cloud Shell is one of the shell using that you can connect through the all the services of AWS and work on it. Code artifacts, basically this is where you can store the code, store the packages. Okay. Code build where you can build it. Code commit where we can store the code. So code commit something like GitHub. Code build it's something like Maven, something like that. Okay. Cloud9 is something like Eclipse. Cloud Shell you can say is like a bash, Git bash, or something like that. Code artifact is something like Artifactory or Nexus, and like that. We have a few more tools like code deploy, used for the automating the deployment, and code pipeline, CI/CD. So you can set it up the CI/CDs like a Jenkins, and stuff like that. Code star is like a sonar queue, something like that, where you can quickly develop, build, and deploy the applications. Okay. And sorry, X-ray is basically for the sonar. Code star basically is a kind of environment where you can do lots of things together, combine it, quickly develop, build, and deploy applications. It's basically integrations between all these, some of the services on up. FIS basically auditing tool, improve resiliency and performance with control experiment. And X-ray is basically something like a sonar to analyze and debug your applications. So these are the services which you can find it on AWS. So yeah, so using these services, any engineers can do the development in AWS and production in AWS, and also managing their customer in AWS only, and the work you can get it done. Okay, so let's begin with code commit. So code commit is nothing but something like a GitHub Bitbucket. I'm damn sure about it. You might have used this tool, right? So there are places where we can store and management the code in terms of repository and stuff like that. So yes, it's a fully managed source control service powered by Git, backed by AWS technology. Commit and store your projects. Okay, so code build, which is the second services where you build the code and convert into the packages, something like exe, jars, apks, and stuff like that. Okay, so code build supports multiple environment for compilations, for building: Java, Ruby, Python, Go, Node.js, Android, Docker, and stuff like that. Code deploy, where we can set up automated deployment services, deploy to multiple instances at once, powered by AWS. Okay, web traffic. So also you can see the deployment. You can manage the traffic, see the how much traffic you have, and you can deploy to the more. So here you see you can introduce, while deploying, you can introduce the load balancers also, which can manage the traffic and get going. Okay, so yeah, so these are the few integrations demo I'm going to show you. Code commit, and then take some same code in the code build, and from that take the same packages to deploy into the multiple instance and something like that. So earlier we had a GitHub and for that, but we will use a code commit today, and after that code build, and for creating a pipeline we use a code pipeline. There's another services which is pipeline. So continuous integration and delivery services, rapid and reliable code delivery, configurable workflows, and powered by AWS. So yeah, this is the stuff we will do now. So before that, let's complete the discussion. So basically at the code commit, you can do the branching also. You can trigger and push pull all these activities. You can also do that code commit triggers. You can embed with a SNS and Lambda also, notification service and serverless. That's the last one, Lambda also, and many things you can do that. So like creating a repository, viewing code in a browser, commit and troubleshooting, viewing code commit details, using the compare tool, branches and troubleshooting, and triggers and stuff like that. So many options are there in this. Yeah. So if you see that the workflow, how it will work. So manually you do the code build, or maybe code pipelines to do the code build. Code build will have a certain environment, and that environment will take the code from the code commit and do the code build, and followed by they will push that code logs to the CloudWatch if it is required, or you can send it to the notification through SNS S3 also. Okay, so this is the complete workflow. Now there is a one file which you need to understand in a code build, which is called build spec file. So here, this is the build spec file which we need to write. It's like a GitHub Actions, if you know that. Okay, so here you have to specify that what are the things you are going to build it. So these are the builds which we have in the phases manner. So environment, phases, install, what command you want to run it, pre-build, build, post-build, artifacts, all these things we have to understand. So here you see the version, build spec version where you define the API version for it, and build spec version basically for API build spec version. Here you set the environment variable. This is how you set the environment variable. These are the phases of builds which you have. You name it, you can install, pre-build, build, post-build as it's suggested. And inside that you can have a commands, and any commands you can run for the sake of and building activities. Here you have artifacts. Using that you can call these artifacts and store all the files in the code artifacts. Okay, so this is the build spec. Now, before looking at the code deploy in actions, I would like to show you some of the options so you'll get comfortable. So let me go to AWS IAM user groups, and let me get you the permissions of it. So the permissions of it, are you able to see my screen, right, all of you? Hello, am I audible? All of you? Okay, so now I'll just click on the developer tools. Just I'll search for developer. Yeah. So here we have AWS code build developer access. Okay. So this is one of this AWS code build developer access. So I'm just clicking on it. And one more I need, code commit. And here, code commit. Here, code build on access I need. So this is done. Code pipeline add. Now code deploy. So all these permissions I'm adding. Code deploy, I think, is already part of the pipeline, I guess. One more time, I'll search for it. No. Now, so more or less all the permissions I'm having. Now I will go here and show you. So look at my screen, all of you. Now I'll go to developer tools and can you see these options, developer tools, all of you guys? Hello? Yeah. Now this is the one which is ID actually. Right now I'm not going for it just because the moment you open up, you'll get an ID environment, but I'll start with a code commit here. So this is the code commit and you see that I don't have any repository. Now see here, you have a code commit feature here, code artifacts here, code build here, code deploy here, code pipeline here. So almost 5 to 6 services you have here, which is more than what we need in the pipeline to dip it. Okay, so one by one, let's go ahead with create a repository. So here repository, I'll create Rajesh1. Okay, and here you want to tag it or you want to enable Amazon Code Guru reviewer for Java and Python optional. So Code Guru is one of the another service which can help you to review the code of Java and Python, but that's right now not needed. And create this. So guys, here you have a one repository created. Now here you can create a pull request. Here you have a code. Right now it's not pushed. Commits, here you will have branches, here you will have git tags, here you will have, and some settings of the repository. Here you can do that. Now the question is, how do I clone and then do some pushing? So guys, here it's supported HTTP protocol, SSH protocol, and HTTPS GRC, which is from the Golang. So you can do that. So now SSH, what you want to do? So here you have a Mac, here you have Windows, here you have a Linux. So you can configure the SSH. You see that all this tutorial you have here and get it done. By the way, where you can upload this SSH key, that is important, right? So which one you guys are comfortable, password based or key based? Which one you guys are comfortable? All of you? So if you go for the password, you click on HTTP. Now please read this, don't ignore it. This you have to read it. This is the URL and I'm just writing it here. This is my URL, okay? This is my URL HTTP. Now the question is, how do we get the password? So for the password, you need to set up something which I'm going to show you. So first thing, you have to go to your IAM account and click on the security credentials, securing credentials. Here you have to come to for the password. Okay. Now look at it very carefully. Now guys, here you have so many things. I would request you to look at it very carefully. So here you have, do you see AWS commit credentials here? All of you? Guys, here you can upload the keys if you want, key based. If you want the password based, HTTPS git credential for AWS commit. So yes, you can do this work. So what do we do in this case? So here, generate a credential. And guys, here this is your credential. This is a username. I must copy it. And this is the I missed it because of delete. I have to generate. I can generate as many. Okay. So here generate and copy. Others I'll download. I don't want to miss it because browser is slow. So guys, I downloaded it. Here you have. I'll open up with the notepad. And here, this is your username and this is your password, which you should use it. Are you clear now, all of you? So now what to do? Now let me show you some sample commits. So I am going to go to AWS, there's a place, and open up a git bash and run this command, which I'm having here. Yeah, here. So I'm just going to run this command, clone, and paste it, enter. Okay, now it will prompt you the user ID and password. You have to fill this up. So username is this one, and password is this one. And see here, cloning is done. It's empty repository. ls. You do something here, Rajesh1, and here create some file, touch raju.txt, simple code. I mean simple file just to dummy commits. Git add hyphen all and git commit, and this is my first commit and committed, and git push origin master. That's all. I pushed it, and raju.txt should be going to AWS. Let's validate. So I should go here, click on the code one more time, refresh it, and now you see that file is there. So this is the way you have to work on it. Now many features are available here. If you know the GitHub or Bitbucket, one of the two, then you will find a little bit more easier to understand. Create a pull request, clone it, add files, create a file, upload a file. Manually also you can do that. How many commits? Only one right now. You have only one branch is here, which is master branch. I want to create a one more branch. So here you can create a branches, branch name, fee1, and then from branch master and create branches. So all these features which you have, and you can work on it. There's a tags, some settings now. So are you comfortable with this one, all of you? Any questions? Hello? Okay. So now what I will do, I will push one of the code, which is a little bit of building purpose. So I am having some examples code. So let me download this first. So for that, GitHub, and okay, so this is the code which I want to download it and post it to the AWS just for the demo purpose. Okay. This is the Maven code in Java. And here, in this code, I'm copying to the directory Rajesh1. Now extracting it. And done. Now, if you have some sample code like that, you can use that, or you can use my projects also, which I am pushing to the AWS. This is the code. I'm pushing it. And I will delete this unnecessarily stuff. It's a Maven code, which will build in the Java 8 or 11. Commit one more time. Add, commit, and push. Done. So sample code I have committed. You could have done it in ID also, code start, and then from there you could have committed, but that is time consuming little bit. It takes 15 minutes to set up ID actually, so I just ignored that. So guys, here we have a 2 commits so far, and are you comfortable, all of you? Now I'm going to take this code and build it. Okay, you can take a code from somewhere else also and you can build it, but here I'm going to get it started. So guys, this is my projects I'm creating in the code build. Okay, Rajesh, and here this is the source you have to select. Okay, primary, I would request you to read each and everything. Don't rush. Okay, so from where you have to take a code. So you can take up a code from different locations also, but right now I'm interested only in the code commit, and my repository is Rajesh1, and branch, tag ID, all these things you can do that. I'm interested in the master branch, that's all. And that's all. Now each environment, build environment. Guys, it's here, you can use the Docker image also. Now those who are aware of the Docker, that's wonderful. If you are not aware of it, so basically you're missing one of the advanced hotter technology you should learn as soon as possible. So here you can call the Docker images also, but here you can also use some of your machines also managed image. Use an image managed by AWS code build. So this also you can do that. So here I'm going for the first option, and here you select the operating system. Let's say Ubuntu. Okay, and here what is the runtime of Ubuntu? So here standard. Now you can specify, by the way, all these MIIDs and all you can specify, but right now I'm not complicating here. If you select the custom image, you can go for it. And here this is image which has been given by what do you say, AWS, so that's you can use it. Again, you should read it if you have a little bit of customization in this particular image, what will be there and what will not be there. All these things you'll get this information here. Okay, runtime environment standard, and which particular here, so standard 4.0, 5.0. So I'll go for the 4.0. Okay, and image version, which one you want? So always use the latest. Environment Linux. You want to have a little bit of extra privileges, you can do that. You want to create a new role, because remember that here role is primarily used for the 2 services, right? Do you remember that, right, all of you? To granting access from one services of AWS to another services, correct now, all of you? Yeah, so here you need a role. Actually you can create an existing role and you can use it, but here it will create a role. So in this case here we required code build access to the code commit, and then EC2 instance, and Docker also, containers also. So understand this, all this stuff. Additional configurations also you can do it here. Okay, and now here you have tried a build spec. If you are okay with the YAML file, you can do with it. If you're okay with the commands also, you can do with it. Anything is you are comfortable, you can select this. So right now, if you see that here, my code, in my code, I don't have a YAML build spec file. Okay, you can generate a file and you can call this file name here. This is the name of the file. And right now I don't have it. So what is the thing command which you want to run it? So here you see that if I use the insert build command or switch to editor, so enter commands you want to run during the build phase, separate each build command with www and www. So here I want to run only one command for time being, ambient test, because my package is Java based. So I want to run ambient test, ambient package, ambient install, ambient deploy, whatever you want to do. Few more configurations here you have. If you want to upload the artifacts from the builds, you can do that. So here to S3 you can upload it right now, and here you can say add artifacts, more artifacts, one artifacts, two artifacts, all these things you can select this. Right now I'm not complicating too much, so I'll just remove this artifact. Okay, so here it's done. Now if you want to monitor the logs, you can do that. Right now I don't, let's go ahead with it. And you have to select the group name and all this. I'm ignoring it because it's not automatically creating it. So here you have to give the name, and this stream name and group name of the logs you can find in the CloudWatch. Let's do that actually. So this is Rajesh, this is Rajesh, and create a build project. Okay, bucket name, why? Because I have selected S3, so I have not given a bucket. No artifacts right now, and build this. So you saw that I got a codes from code commit and building the environment. Now it will build that, it will run the command ambient test, and after that whatever the results you have, you can see in the CloudWatch. Here also you can see that and stuff like that. So let me do that. So this project has been created. Start the build. Okay. Say the tail the logs, and now whatever the environments you have, you will have that accordingly output. And by the way, you should have this kind of situation with the custom image actually. So that's the reason you should know, you must know Docker for it. So this is the code commit we tried. Then we tried code build. Code artifact is nothing but S3. And after that, code pipeline, which is basically creating a CI/CD pipeline. So are you understanding all these services? All of you? Yeah. So usually you should create a build pipeline. So if you search for it build file for build spec file. So here if you search AWS code build spec example file. In the PPT also I have shown you, but here you can see lots of example files how to write. So everything nowadays we write through the programming itself. So this is ECR sample, code deploy, code config, code build I need. This is the simple one. Here you have permissions. This is not a YAML file. I'm just looking for it. Here it is. Look at this. So this is a real task which we have. You have to write it. So all this sample code, you can find it on the things. All of you understood this? Any question? No, you need to have in the root directory of project. Yes, here, and you can give the relative path also. For example, here you should be having. So for example, see, this is a Jenkins file. This is for CI, I mean for Jenkins. So similarly, you should be having a build spec file here for code build. So you'll have to create it and call it from. Any other questions, guys? Okay. So now what I'm expecting, you also go ahead and create your own one repository commit your code, and try to build it from that from the code build. And after that, I'll show you that code pipeline and stuff like that. See that my code is building. Java 8 environment, 11 environment is needed. Again, you need to read more information about the environment. Not everything you can build it, okay? So here, this is the test results and build success. Everything is great. And close this. I could have also done artifacts like taking the files from the target locations and push it to the code artifacts, which I did not do that here. But here you have a build history, and little slow my system has become. So this is the, so see here, these are the build history, code deploy, so many things has happened. And here projects build. Here you can have a reports and projects builds and all stuff like that. Here you have. Understood, guys, everyone?
Hello everyone, if you would like to access the remaining videos of this playlist of 50 plus more tools which are coming under DevOps, DevSecOps, SRE, DataOps, GitOps, etc. Kindly become our channel members by clicking on the joining button. You would have access to hundreds of playlists and 1000s of videos lifetime access with this membership. Enjoy.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.